And now, introducing Prince GC, Fabulous He, Glenn Clark of Kingsville. Strong as 10 regular Glens naturally. No, not doing it for you? Okay, he's the little Glengen that could, but probably shouldn't. He is Glenn Clark.
Look at you today. What guy? It's not festive necessarily, but it's something. I don't know exactly what it is.
I was excited for the new system.
I mean,
I had to sing a song about it.
We're all very excited. Good morning. It is Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Paul Valley, and he's got his singing shoes on today. I like that. So, boy, yeah. Thank you to those of you that are joining us today live on YouTube for the first time ever. We are broadcasting live on YouTube, and it is taking a lot of hard work and constant apologies to those of you that have, struggled through some of the issues. Like, we were late on yesterday's show getting things started, and we've been just working through a lot of things trying to make this happen for you. And we are admittedly a little engine that could over here. We have a very, very small staff. Paul and I have not seen another human being in years, honestly. We've been locked in this cave, and
I vowed never to shave again until I saw another person.
He started talking to a volleyball at one point. There was just a lot of weird stuff going on, man. I don't know how to describe it. But he learned how to make fire, and that was good because that came in handy for a lot of reasons. So we've been busting our ass. Ben Lamone has been here helping us out. Ben from Duffy's Garage in Baldwin, Duffy'sGarageMD.com, as well as Window Depot Baltimore, WindowDepotBaltimore.com. And Ben has been working his ass off to try to teach us all of this new software and how to make it work. And we got a different look, obviously. You see Ben built this entire new background that you're seeing on our video presentation today. And we're going to be introducing more elements to it that we're just not ready for quite yet because, frankly, we still have to learn them. We are stupids. We are big stupids. But as Ben kept telling us, even you guys can handle this. And so far, so good. Now, when something breaks, we will panic because we don't know how to fix anything. Anything at all. You think I can fix a toilet? No flipping chance. Not a chance. Paul, do you know how to fix a toilet?
I've fixed the toilet.
All right, good. I know who I'm calling.
With basic stuff.
That's fine. I know who I'm calling when something happens to my toilet. Congratulations. You just got hired for another job.
I can also change a tire if you're ever a damsel in distress.
Here's the bit. I can change a tire. I know how to do it. I recently wanted if I'm on the highway, I ain't doing it. I'm not changing a tire. I've seen way too many, cars that aren't paying attention. I'm not on a highway. I'm not doing it. Like, it ain't happening. I
had to change a tire on 695.
Nope. I pay
for the wife coming home from Massanutten a couple years ago.
I pay for AAA. They can come change my tire for me if I'm on a highway. Now, if I'm not on a highway, if I can get somewhere, like this happened recently, I was able to pull into a gas station. If I can get somewhere like that, no problem. I'll change my own tire in those circumstances. I don't need somebody who's not paying attention suddenly veering off and slamming into me as I'm attempting to change my tire on the side of a highway when they're going 80 miles an hour. It is not something that I'm going to choose to do anymore in my life. As long as I can afford to have AAA, right? Like, I'm paying for it. I might as well use it at that point. But if I can get somewhere where I can be safe, I'll change my own tire. Here's the problem. I was feeling good about it, right? It happened we are members of a pool. Jokingly, we're members of a country club, but we sure as F not. We're only pool members. That's all we are. We are definitely not members of the country club. We ain't swimming in those waters, baby. You guys want to start?
That would cost your whole salary.
Yeah, right. Like, you want to start a Kickstarter for me to join the country club? Maybe I will. I asked them if I'd be allowed to use their gym when my gym closed, and they were like, "No, no, you will not. You are the most basic of basic members here." I said, okay, cool, appreciate that.
What about the tennis courts? Can't use those
nope,
either?
Not accessed by your boy. But I don't need that. There's tennis courts everywhere, right? Like, it's not like, and they don't even have lights on their tennis courts, so it wasn't.
What kind of country club is this?
So I was like, really? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So we're pool members, and it happened while we were at the pool one day, and I came out to the car and realized that I had not noticed that there was something had impacted the tire. And I said, I'm going to change my tire. No problem. I got this. I am safe. I can do this right here in the parking lot. No problem whatsoever. This is your chance for your boy to feel like a man, right? Like, I get to feel like a man in these moments. And then I realized that the key was missing. So that's a thing. The key, because we have one of those tires that, does the bit. Well, you got to switch it. I mean, clearly. I couldn't help but notice that it was not available to me because they couldn't get to the key. The key was unavailable for the tire, and because of that, I wasn't able to change my own tire, and I still had to call AAA because they had to sort of break into the tire, and it's just a whole deal. But all that being said, make sure we're good on the other one on MixLR. Make sure we're good there. All right, great, wonderful. It's gonna be such a
these random switchovers.
Fault. Like I don't know what to say, but we just have to. We got to lock it up on our end. That's all. We got to lock it up on our end. That's the way that it'll go. But yeah, that was a bummer. That was a bummer to me because I was prepared to do it. Anyway, moral of the story of all of this is I can't fix anything. So if something goes wrong with our new software, I won't be able to fix it. But we will be live now on YouTube at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, as well as at Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, both locations. You can find the show, and you'll be able to find archive shows throughout the day on both locations. And we've got more that we're planning on, perhaps a Twitch, perhaps a Grindr stream. We're working on that one. J-Date, I think we'll be able to stream live to there. Etsy, I think we'll be streaming
Farmers
live.
Only, I'm really looking forward to that one.
Working on Christian Mingle, 100%, a live stream in all of these locations. We are looking forward to being able to stream live everywhere coming soon. So, yeah, that's the good news. And, again, a different look, and there'll be different looks for all of our shows. So, later on today, the fantasy show, not for a couple of weeks, as you guys are off for a couple of weeks, but next time there's a bat around, the first, I guess it would be the 8th of January will be the next time you guys will be on. There'll be a different look for that show. There'll be a different look for Project Game Day this Sunday, just different look for all of our various shows. Thanks to all the hard work that Ben and the two of us have put in. Mostly the two of us. Ben did very little. It was mostly us that put all the work in. Coming up on the program today. Today's show is brought to you by Window Nation. It's December. Higher energy bills because it's colder, but good news, Window Nation, until the end of the month, is offering you 50% off all style windows and a house of windows for only $99 a month. Call them today, 866-90Nation, or visit windownation.com. Here's what's coming up on the program today in just a little bit. Bo Smolka, PressBox Ravens beat writer, will check in with us. Anybody playing in this game? Like, anybody at all? David Sharp, whoever that is, seemed to solve a bit of the problem at right tackle last week. And now, of course, he's on the COVID list.
Oh, awesome.
It's that South Park meme. And it's gone. So, I don't know, man. Who knows? Hopefully Bo has kept enough track of it that he can tell us.
I saw the Ravens have 15 guys on defense because of COVID and injuries. They have 15 guys on the 53-man active roster that are defensive players.
Yeah, but I mean, they also will be able to play practice squad guys.
Yeah.
Either guys they protected or guys they're elevating. Like, it's not, the number won't actually be 15.
Right.
And there's still some of those guys that can come off the COVID list between now and Sunday. It's just a question as to whether or not they will. Like, they still do have to get a negative test in there in order to come off the COVID list if they're vaccinated. And I, to be honest with you, I wasn't bothering to keep track of whether or not David Sharp was, not that he's a defensive player, but these types of guys, who of these guys were vaccinated, because I didn't know they were Ravens, frankly, a few weeks ago. So we'll talk more about that with Bo Smolka in a few minutes. We'll check in Cincinnati with Rocky Boiman, our friend, former NFL linebacker, WLW host. We'll get some thoughts on where they are, how things may or may not be different than the last time these two teams got together. Ken Zalis will join us. We've got to make our picks. KZ suddenly has crept back into the top of the competition. He's only 3 games back of Kyle and I. Kyle and I are tied. KZ is only 3 games back. So I've completely blown my lead. My lead is gone. Kyle is officially tied. And then KZ is only 3 games behind us. That's the only race that's left because Andrew Stecka is most certainly going to end up being the one that's got to come in and pay all the penalties. And then we'll get the PressBox Fantasy Football Show. We do that every Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m., brought to you by Glory Days Grill, as well as CCBC and the Maryland Department of Transportation. The PressBox Fantasy Football Show coming up at 11:30 this morning. So that's all on the way today. It is confirmed. Mark stepped up with a big $250 donation to Perry Hall Basketball. So we know we're well on our way. Ivan already threw in $50. Like, we're well on our way. I've had other promises of people that are going to donate, so we're going to do it on Monday. Jeremy Kahn and I are going to do a drunken table read of Jingle All the Way. I think the show is going to start a little bit late on Monday because Jeremy can't get here until 10:30. I don't know if you've heard he's got his own show to do in the mornings. So I think we might start the show a little bit late on Monday morning, and it will be a festive holiday drunken mess. if you have been holding on to coats or clothes for us to helping up mission, just haven't got them to us yet, I'm going to allow you to do it. Come in on Monday. Just stop by, say hello. Unless you've donated money to Perry Hall Basketball, you can't sit in on what we're doing. But if you just want to come by, stop in and give us a wave, Monday would be a good day to do that. Here in Hamden, if you happen to be taking next week off, we'll let that happen. We honest to God, things have turned. We actually have a problem. We have too many clothes. And it's a great problem to have. I can't thank you guys enough. I just stopped last night and picked up the clothes that were at Mother's in Timonium. So thank you guys that dropped off clothes there. A lot of gloves that were dropped off. People went out and bought gloves and dropped them off. Thank you for that. That was very kind of you. I'm going to try to make a run to Bel Air today to pick up the clothes that are uptown Cheapskate. And I got to stop by. I made it on Twitter. I sent Andrew Stecca a note. Andrew Stecca asked me if I could stop by his mom's house to pick up some donations from her. And I said, sure, Andrew Stecca, I'm happy to do that. And then just to make it awkward on Twitter, I said something like, tell your mom I'm coming by. Just to make it look uncomfortable for everybody on Twitter. But I'm going to make a run up to Bel Air, do some of that. I got to take one of our winners. Jesse won the Trey Mancini canvas, so I got to drop that off with him. So I'm making some runs today. Hopefully I don't get the runs, but I'm making the runs today, and I got to stop by. There's even more. There's a wonderful Good Samaritan in Fells Point has offered me a lot of clothes, and I got a lot of them yesterday. It's overwhelming. In fact, they're probably not all going to end up at Helping Up Mission. Like, it's so much that we're probably going to have to take them to other places. But I'm grateful for that, and it's in my nature to try to help people out. So I'm going to go pick them up. My poor mother owns a truck, and it's like, you need a truck? I'm like, I do need a truck. She said, well, I'll drive down there. My mother, like, God bless her. Like, I can't have her trying to haul. Like, if you happen to be in the area today of Hamden around 2:00, I could probably use some help. I think John Colson and Charlie Colson are going to help me out. Hauling boxes up here, it's going to be a truck's worth. I mean, it might be more than that. A truck's worth of clothes that we're going to have. So incredible how you guys have come through for us. But if you still have more and you've been wanting to get them to us, I'm not going to say no. It's a problem that I'm willing to solve. And whatever we got to do in order to solve it, we will do that. So please, on Monday, it is official. We will be performing a drunken table read of Jingle All the Way on Monday's show. It will not be a normal GCR. It will be a drunken, festive mess. So tune in for that. And we're going to do a botch game. Whoever screws up the most, Jeremy's going to play Phil Hartman. I'm going to play Arnold Schwarzenegger. We'll figure all the rest of it out. And we'll go with it as long as we possibly can until we realize it's just over. The exercise has. I'd love to get through it. It'd be a holiday miracle if we got through the whole thing.
Are you going to dress in costumes?
No, I do not have a Turbo Man. I would love to get a Turbo Man costume between now and then, but we only have a few days. And Paul, I haven't finished my own Christmas shopping yet, so no chance. Unless if they've got one. Like if I drove by Party City today and they had a Turbo Man costume, I would purchase that on the spot right there. I would do it, but I don't think they keep those at the old Party City, so I don't think that's going to be an option for me. All right, so covered that. The Pro Bowl thing, you're not going to get me to care. There's no world in which you're going to get me to care about the Pro Bowl in any way. In fact, there's no chance they're actually playing the Pro Bowl this year, right? Like with everything going on.
They didn't play last year either, right?
Yeah, but they announced that ahead of time. This year, they're acting not only as though they're going to play the Pro Bowl, but even today they announced they're going to bring back the skills competition too. Like they're going head first with the idea of we are making this happen. Why in the world? If you're someone who's been to 8 Pro Bowls before, why in the world are you going to this year's Pro Bowl?
Right.
Like, everything going on in the world and all the things the NFL just said you're not allowed to do. Tyus Bowser's not allowed to come out and do a show with us for charity. But better be there for the Pro Bowl? And they're going to say, well, it's all outside. It's all – yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, I'm sure. But that's something you're willing to do? You won't let these dudes live their lives. You won't let them to get together with their friends, but they better be there for the Pro Bowl? It seems way over the top to me, man. Way over the top. As far as, like, people think Lamar Jackson wasn't actually deserving of the spot that he got. Interesting to point out that it was apparently the players and coaches' votes that were for Lamar Jackson. That was the reason why he got his spot, which probably tells you something about the respect and how much they fear facing him. That probably tells you something about it. Were there a lot of deserving candidates for Pro Bowl berths? Sure, there were a lot of them. Lamar Jackson got a spot. Who cares? I don't know how to say this nice. Who cares? If you want me to care about something, I'm bummed for Tyus because it would have been a big deal to him.
Mm-hmm.
For somebody that hasn't made it before, it would have been a really big deal for Tyus, and I know that, to have made the Pro Bowl. Like, that matters to him because it's something he's never been able to experience before in his life, and people talk about you in a different way. It puts you in a different echelon of football players when they use the word Pro Bowl around you. Now, he could still end up being somebody that gets named if they play the game and teams make the Super Bowl and guys aren't available, he could still end up being a guy that ends up making the Pro Bowl. But I was bummed. I was really bummed because he was the type of guy. And it's also a bummer because you realize how difficult it's going to be. It's so much easier for someone who just puts up numbers. Given what Tyus Bowser does, his Adalius Thomas type role for this football team, it's just not as easy for someone like that because there isn't an eye-popping number that says, hey, this is why the layperson knows that they're worthy of making this type of roster, this type of team. So it makes it tougher for that guy. It was always a difficult thing for Adalius Thomas during his career because you're not getting your job is not to be the 15 sack guy. Your job is to do so many things: set the edge versus the run, defend the pass, all of those things. And it ends up coming away where the statistics aren't always overwhelming, and that's the easiest thing that someone can point to in deciding who's worthy of making a Pro Bowl. So, I'm bummed about that just because I like Tyus.
He'll get
personally.
there one day. I have no doubt.
I like to hope so, but it's just not. There's nothing obvious. A lot of people pointed out it's weird that there's no Ravens defenders. Like the Ravens had 5 Pro Bowlers and none of them are on the defense. And yeah, okay.
They're all hurt.
Well, I mean the guys that would be, yeah, I'm sure. If you're saying Marlon Humphrey would be a Pro Bowler, yeah, it's weird, right? Like we're not used to that, but it's kind of the reality of the circumstances. I also, again, I can only say this so many times. Who cares? Who cares who makes the Pro Bowl and who doesn't? Who cares?
You're ruining my tidbit, man.
The thing that actually matters, really, should be the All-Pro team. Like, the Pro Bowl is regularly about name recognition and those types of things. I know I'm spending more time on it than I even should. You can't get me to get worked up about the Pro Bowl. The other thing that I thought was hilarious yesterday was this report that they would award the College Football National Championship via forfeit. And make something abundantly clear. That ain't happening. Like, I get why they're saying that because they want people to take it seriously. They want to make sure these teams are isolating players and doing all the right things. But let me tell you what's not going to occur. This multi-million-dollar game with multi-million-dollar media partners having sold it for big money to corporate sponsors, they ain't canceling that game and saying Georgia wins by forfeit. That ain't happening. We're breathlessly reporting on it when we know the truth. The truth is they'll figure out how they're going to play the game. The same way the NFL figured out how they were going to play their games last week. They're going to figure out how to play the game because there's way too much money at stake to just say, we're not going to do it. Unless the world completely shuts down again, they're going to play a college football national championship. And if they got to move it a couple days, they got to do something, they'll do it in order to make it happen. Mobil 1, full synthetic motor oil, helps extend engine life. Visit your local Jiffy Lube service center. Ask for Mobil 1. When we come back in, PressBox Ravens beat writer Bo Smolka. He'll join us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
The latest issue of PressBox is available now, and it's our very special annual Best Of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Justin Tucker as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, honoring his historic on-field achievements, but also the unprecedented relationship he shared with Baltimore. Inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2021, including Cedric Mullins' incredible season and the dominance of local Paralympic athletes. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Glory Days Grill's winter seasonal menu is back with comfort classics like their house-made meatloaf and short rib grilled cheese. It also features the center-cut sirloin with grilled shrimp, the char-grilled pork tenderloin, grilled meatloaf sandwich, smoky thigh wings with Alabama barbecue sauce, and a Brussels and bacon appetizer. All of these items pair well with Devil's Backbone 8-point IPA or their anniversary IPA brewed by Devil's Backbone. And try their seasonal cocktails, Blood Orange Bourbon Cider, Apple Ginger Mule, and Captain's Hot Cider. Find out more and get your order in today at glorydaysgrill.com. Great food, good sports.
Window Depot Baltimore provides the highest quality Pro Via windows, doors, and siding for all budgets. The best is finally affordable. Call them today for a free in-home consultation at 410-941-3499. They also offer Zoom and FaceTime consultations in an effort to practice social distancing. A proud sponsor of the Tyus Bowser Show, you can find out more at WindowDepotBaltimore.com.
I've driven my tractor trailer millions of miles, and I've seen it all. The next time you change lanes when driving, remember, because of the sheer weight and size of my truck, I'm not able to stop quickly if you cut me off and brake suddenly. One wrong decision could change our lives forever. Trucks need room to stop. Don't cut it close.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
Looking for a simple holiday meal? Try Chick-fil-A Catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a wide range of models and trim lines. You can choose the perfect Toyota to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
We can't imagine why you'd want to, but you can watch GCR live. It's at facebook.com/PressBoxSports and try to guess whether these guys are wearing any pants.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue on the Thursday edition of the program. Reminder, we'll be off tomorrow, and then we'll be doing the drinking show on Monday. We'll have the, what's that?
There's nothing with the phone.
Oh, good. Our phone line is out. Hang on a second. That might be something that we can fix really quickly. Paul, I'm going to have you do me a favor while I attempt to fix this, and we might end up having a bigger problem that I'll work with, and I'll figure it out. Do me a favor. Tell everybody about the Baltimore area Chick-fil-A restaurants, if you don't mind. And when we, oh no, you know what? No, not that one. Sorry, everybody. I'm trying to make things work around here. We just got a lot going on. I promise you. Here, tell everybody about the print issue of PressBox. You can even show them the print issue of PressBox.
All right, the latest issue of PressBox is available now, and it is our very special annual Best of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Justin Tucker as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, honoring his historic on-field achievements, but also the unprecedented relationship he shared with Baltimore. Also inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2021, including Cedric Mullins' incredible season and the dominance of local Paralympic athletes. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
That's something that I'm going to have to teach you about, but it's good. You're good now. We can go ahead and call Bo Smolka. Everything's fine. All right, continuing on. A couple thoughts that people have from Tony. Tony says, Glenn, the only issue that I have related to the Pro Bowl is that why is it that fans – I don't understand what you're saying, Tony. Why is it that fans only get to pick guys they want but they don't make the team? I guess what you're trying to ask, Tony, is why is it that – it's not specifically fan picks, that it's not only fan picks of the Pro Bowl, and because they don't want it to just be a popularity contest. They want it to be more about merit. But again, who cares? You can't get me to care. I'm sorry. I wish you could get me to care. You can't. You can't get me to care. Good for the guys that make it. I know it's a big deal in certain ways to some of them, and I know it would have been a big deal, as I kept saying. It would have been a big deal to Tyus, guy that hasn't made it before. But you're just not going to get me to get worked up about the Pro Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tony. I wish I could do it for you, but you're not going to get me to do that. PressBox Ravens beat writer Bo Smolka with us now here on GCR. Bo, good morning to you. Merry Christmas. Thank you for taking the time for us.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas to you as well.
You have any idea at all who's playing in this football game on Sunday?
Nope, I don't, because I'm going to wait and see who gets added to the COVID list. Every day, more people are added. We're back to, in a way, like we were last year. This is 7 straight days they've had a player added to the COVID list, and they had 5 yesterday. So things are trending in the wrong direction in that way with this team. And at the quarterback situation, we'll see. I mean, Lamar Jackson didn't practice again yesterday. We will see about today, but that tells me there's no way he'll be 100% for this week. And so I suspect they will go with Tyler Huntley if Lamar Jackson's not close to 100%, which I think would be the right call.
Yeah, and I get that, and certainly the way that Tyler Huntley has performed, it probably gives them a bit more of a consideration for that, and we'll see how that all plays out. But I guess the question becomes, is there any chance that, as you bring up the trend, if we're talking about a significant number of more names that are added to the list, is there any chance that we're talking about a scenario where the Ravens, where the game could be in trouble in some sort of way, where we could be dealing with some of the things the teams are dealing with a week ago? Like, is there a number at which it becomes so problematic that there has to be a conversation about whether or not the game can be played?
I mean, I would suspect at some point there would have to be a conversation. They obviously were conversations last week. At one point, the Rams, I think, had 25 guys on the COVID list. The Ravens right now, if my numbers are right, and honestly, it's hard to keep track, I believe they have 15 right now, 11 on the 53-man roster and 4 on the practice squad. So, yeah, the conversation would have to come up. 2 things. One, and this came up last week, is that it's funny because last summer the league said we're not going to reschedule games. We're not going to reschedule games. And then the Players Union fought to reschedule the games. And, J.C. Tretter, the president of the union, plays for the Browns, and the Browns were one of the teams involved in trying to reschedule games last week. And he did a press conference yesterday in which he basically said, this wasn't about the Browns. This is about the players getting paid. As a president of the union, we are trying to have our players get paid. And if the game is canceled or if it's a forfeit, then neither team gets paid.
Right.
So that the driving force for the union is get the game played so that the players get paid. Will it be moved? Look, there's only so many choices or options here.
Right.
Could you move it to Tuesday like they did with the games that were scheduled for Sunday this week? Maybe. But again, they did that, and what happened? There were, 3 players were able to return to action that had been out. So there's just not a lot of choices. Is there a chance they'll have to cancel the game? And there will be I guess there's always a chance. I mean, I don't know. What if 20 more guys end up on the COVID list? We just don't know. But they will try to make sure the game gets played.
Bo, as far as it, presuming that the game is played, let's go back to the last time these teams got together. Obviously, it was a butt kicking. The Bengals came into Baltimore and enforced their will. It was a dominant effort throughout the course of that game. How can it be different this time for the Baltimore Ravens, particularly considering how much leaner they are as far as personnel is concerned?
Yeah, so if you go back to that game, though, the Ravens actually led early in the third quarter. They scored early in the third quarter and took a 17-13 lead. And then the Bengals had 2 plays that I think really sum up the Ravens' season. Number one, they had a miscommunication on defense, and every defensive back crashed hard on, I think it was Tyler Boyd, and left Uzoma wide open running down the middle of the field, and it was a 30, 40-yard touchdown pass. And then on the next possession for the Bengals, a 5-yard slant to Jamar Chase. The Ravens failed to tackle, and it turned into an 82-yard touchdown. So you had 2 situations. The defensive miscommunication, bad tackling. That has been their problem all year. It totally came up in that game in huge situations. And then after the Chase play, it seemed that kind of really broke the will of the Ravens. And then it's one of the few times the Ravens just didn't look like they competed in the fourth quarter of that game, and the Bengals ran 2 more touchdowns, long touchdowns right down their throat. And then the game got out of hand, which was so unusual to see with the Ravens team to get beat up like that at home. But the game for 3 quarters, or at least 2.5 quarters, was closer than the final score. What can happen differently? It's going to be a challenge. There's no doubt, especially when we don't know who's playing. especially in the secondary. Cannot have the lapses of miscommunication, and they absolutely have to tackle. Even if they were to do those things with the the reserves, the backups of backups that are probably going on the field, even if they do those two things, and Chase doesn't get an 80-yard touchdown and instead he gets a 15-yard gain, then they're back in the game. So those are the first two things they have to do. And the other thing they have to do, and I wrote about this morning, and it was significant in that Packers game, they need to be able to extend drives. They need to convert on third down. They need to hold the ball, because if Burrow and Chase and those guys are on the sideline, they're not going to hurt them. And in the Packers game, converting on third down has been not a pretty sight for the Ravens this year. I think they ranked maybe 29th in the league in third down, 25th, something like that. Well, they converted 5 of their first 7 against the Packers. They had 3 sustained drives to start that game. 2 ended in touchdowns. 1, they ended on the 4th down where they went for it from the 3-yard line. They need to convert on third down and be able to sustain drives. They need to tackle, and they cannot have those defensive miscommunications. Then they have a chance.
PressBox Ravens beat writer Bo Smolka with us. Bo's appearance this week brought to you by Live Casino Hotel. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. Bo, obviously much of the conversation surrounding the Ravens this week has been related to John Harbaugh's aggressive decision-making, and now 2 games in the last 3 weeks where they went for 2 late and failed, and they could have gone to overtime. I don't really have any interest in rehashing the decision itself. I certainly get it. I am of the opinion that it almost doesn't matter what you were going to do there. With that secondary and 42 seconds left, you were losing that game no matter what, because Aaron Rodgers was going to have almost no problem moving down and getting them into field goal range. And I guess the only issue being their kicker's not great. But all that being said, the question I've been trying to get a hold of, at any point do you think that the success rate, particularly of 2-point conversions, that they're now 2 of 8 on the season going for 2, at any point do you think that might impact the decisions that they make in these situations? That while they want to be aggressive, the numbers, the statistics as far as their success rate doing it might end up making them think a little bit more about whether or not it really is a good idea in certain situations?
I honestly don't think so, because I think in each of those cases they feel they have the right play called, and I think whenever they call that play, they think they're going to make it. And yeah, they've only made 2 out of 8, and it hasn't worked out. But I don't think they sit there and say, "Boy, I don't think this one's going to work," because it hasn't worked yet. It hasn't worked much this year. I think they go into that 2-point call thinking we have a play that can work. And if they do that and they think it can work, and the odds of making that play are better than whatever might happen in the final 40 seconds of regulation plus whatever might happen in overtime, then they'll do it. I just think they believe in their plays. And now we can argue whether they should do that or whether those plays are too predictable if you're going to go to Mark Andrews in that situation, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the last 6 2-point tries have all gone to Mark Andrews. But that's the kind of question to have. But I think they trust their plays. I think they can work. And I think they view each one independently of any other. So I don't think it would change their thinking if they get in a situation like that again. It's hard to say. John Harbaugh said earlier this week if there were any more time on the clock, he would have kicked the extra point. And the theory is, well, maybe if the game's tied, Aaron Rodgers isn't quite so aggressive as if they're a point behind and he's got to get down 45 or 50 yards to get in field goal range. Harbaugh said he'd rather have 20 seconds left, but there were 40 left. He figured it was worth it. They thought they could hold them, and that's debatable too, but that was the thought. But I think they go in every 2-point play thinking we have a play that can work, and I don't think their past failure would affect their thinking.
At some point I think, I know John Harbaugh addressed the fact that the bigger question for a lot of people was why he didn't go for 2 on the previous touchdown, but I didn't fully understand. I don't disagree with his theory that, hey, we didn't know that they were done scoring. I just still don't know how that makes a difference. At some point, if you were going to go for 2, why wouldn't you give yourself more opportunities to get it? But if there's consistency, if everybody's on board with what you're doing, and I know that video has been shared a lot this week of them going around, and it seems to be that the organization from top down understands this is who we're going to be as a franchise now. We're going to be aggressive in these situations. I don't get a sense that there's much in the way of frustration afterwards. I don't get a sense that and I've talked to defensive players that are sitting around saying, well, you're not giving us the chance to do our job, and they're mad about it. It seems like, for the most part, everybody is on board in these situations.
I would agree, and we're not really privy to the locker room anymore to talk to everybody, but that does seem to be the case as best we can tell.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews said after the game absolutely was the right decision. He said anyone who second-guesses it is wrong. The other one I want to bring up that I know Harbaugh was getting ripped for was when they went on 4th and I think 7 from their own 20, 4th and 5 maybe from their own 29. I'm sorry, I agreed with Harbaugh on that one. If you're trying to win the game, punting the ball back to the Packers at that point is not an option. Now, maybe you're going to – I just think you have to convert there if you're really trying to win the game. I said the same thing when I think it was the Chargers went for it against the Ravens earlier this year. They didn't get it. The Ravens quickly went in and scored, and that game got out of hand. Well, the question is, are you trying to win the game? In that situation, the Chargers, if they got that first down, they had a chance. If they didn't, if they were going to punt the ball away there, they're not going to have enough possessions left to try to win. So I did not have an issue with Harbaugh going for it on that 4th down. The game could have gotten completely out of hand. The Packers could have scored there, and then it's 35-17, and it's over. But if you are trying to win the game, you only have so many possessions left, and I think they made the right call in going for it. It's low percentage, yes, but again, if you're trying to win, I think that's the answer. Now, they were able to hold them to a field goal there, and then get down to the game the way it ended. But I disagreed with the people that were so harsh about Harbaugh because I just think punting that away, you know what that does? That guarantees you're not going to lose by too much.
Right.
But it sure doesn't guarantee you giving a chance to win.
Right. The most likely scenario is they're putting together a 6-7 minute drive at that point. Now, somebody would probably say the same thing, after they scored the touchdown to cut it to a 1-touchdown game. Hey, you didn't know you were going to get a stop 3 and out there, and you did. So maybe if you had punted it, you would have gotten a 3 and out stop there too. Maybe. I probably tend to agree with you. In the moment, Bo, I didn't think there was much likelihood of that, and so I thought it was the right decision as well. All right, so I guess normally I end this by saying, hey, what else are we monitoring this week, Bo? But I think we know the answer. We're monitoring whether or not there are going to be players available to play this football game on Sunday.
Absolutely. We're going to monitor whether Lamar Jackson practices. And if so, to what extent? And then we're sure going to be monitoring at 4 p.m. today when the transaction list comes out to see if anybody has been added to the COVID list or if anybody has come off it. Now, they've changed the COVID protocols to make it easier for vaccinated players to return, but they still have to pass testing, and they still have to be asymptomatic, and we're not sure the health, for example, of a guy like Chuck Clark who's been on the COVID list for a while now. So, yeah, that's the biggest issue is who are more players going to be added today? And if so, what does the roster look like? And if so, you're getting close to the point where talk of rescheduling the game will have to start to surface depending on what that roster looks like, say, by tomorrow.
All right. We'll be following you at B Smolka on Twitter. Of course, PressBoxOnline.com to see all of your stuff. If you hadn't read Bo's cover story, Justin Tucker, our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, go pick it up today. Bo Smolka, appreciate you as always, sir. Merry Christmas. We will talk to you next week, all right?
All right. Thank you. Take care.
PressBox Ravens beat writer Bo Smolka with us here on GCR. Today's show also brought to you by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Whether your focus is luxury and comfort or convenience and technologically advanced connectivity or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today. We'll come back in, preview the Bengals with Rocky Boiman from out in Cincinnati. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Hey, it's Glenn Clark for Window Nation. Cold weather has arrived, and that means one thing: higher energy bills. But the good news is that Window Nation is here to help. For a limited time, get 50% off all style windows, bays, bows, double hung, and sliders, plus a house of windows for only $99 a month. Rising natural gas prices are affecting everyone, but new Window Nation windows can help. Get 50% off any style window and a house of windows for only $99 a month. Call Window Nation today at 866-90NATION or go online at windownation.com. That's December only. Tell them Glenn Clark sent you.
From all of the biggest games to the smallest events, make every bet worth your while at MyBookie. Start by doubling your first deposit instantly with MyBookie's first deposit bonus up to $1,000. Double your money before you even place a bet, and all you have to do is sign up and deposit using the exclusive promo code PressBox at mybookie.ag. If your first deposit is $100, MyBookie adds $100 so you can start with $200 to play with. If your first deposit is $1,000, MyBookie adds $1,000 so you can start with $2,000 to play with. With tons of great games and prop bets to take advantage of this week, there is truly something for everyone. Don't wait any longer. Head to MyBookie today to redeem your double deposit bonus so you can start winning big today. That's promo code PressBox to receive double your first deposit instantly in your account. No hassle, no wait. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
Duffy's Garage is a family-owned and operated car care facility in beautiful Baldwin, Maryland. An authorized Maryland inspection station and Napa Pro Care Center with ASE-certified techs. Tell them that Glenn Clark sent you and receive 10% off your service with a max discount of $150. You gotta trust where you take your car, so take it to where I take mine. Duffy's Garage in Baldwin. Duffy'sGarageMD.com.
Stay tuned. Your chance to win $1 million is coming up. Probably not from us. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
Couple things quickly. The Ravens are making Tyler Huntley available to the media today. Now, that does not guarantee anything. I know the immediate response will be, that means he's starting. Well, it might. It might very well be. I know nobody wants to believe this. Sometimes teams don't know the answer. Sometimes they don't know if a player is going to be available until literally the day of the game. I know that's hard for you guys to believe. You think everything's a conspiracy. But sometimes players genuinely don't know if they're going to be available until the day of the game. So Tyler Huntley's coming off a really solid performance. He's getting a lot of attention. Certainly he was probably somebody that a lot of reporters asked to speak to this week. So he's available today. He's being made available to the media, which seems like a good thing for the Ravens to do. But what it doesn't guarantee is that means that he is starting on Sunday. I understand why a lot of you are starting to believe that he will, because Lamar Jackson didn't practice at all yesterday. But this has happened before where somebody coming back from an injury didn't practice on a Wednesday but did practice on a Friday. We just have to be patient to get this answer. I understand. Bettors want to know, everybody wants to know who's playing on Sunday. We don't know yet. If you said, Glenn, you have to bet money on it right now, I'd probably say Tyler Huntley because Lamar Jackson hasn't practiced yet. But that can change. There's going to be a practice today. There's going to be a practice tomorrow. Glory Days Grill's winter seasonal menu is back with comfort classics like their house-made meatloaf and short rib grilled cheese, featuring the center-cut sirloin with grilled shrimp, char-grilled pork tenderloin, grilled meatloaf sandwich, smoky thigh wings with Alabama barbecue sauce, and a Brussels and bacon appetizer. They all pair well with the Devil's Backbone 8-point IPA or their anniversary IPA brewed by Devil's Backbone. Find out more. Get your order in right now, glorydaysgrill.com. One of my favorite things about a Bengals week is it means we get to catch up with an old friend. He is, of course, with WLW out in Cincinnati. Former NFL linebacker, our buddy Rocky Boiman, is back with us on GCR. Rocky, thank you as always for taking the time for us, man. Merry Christmas to you. Appreciate you doing this for us.
Glenn, absolutely, man. Always happy to be on with you. Merry Christmas as well. Before we get into what you want to talk about, I was on hold there. I was listening to what you were saying, and two things. Number one, as someone who has been there, I can 100% tell you that is the truth. Coaches and even players often don't know if they're going to play or not, literally until
an hour and a half before the game.
Right.
There's been times, myself included and countless other players, you hope to play, you think you can play, but you don't really know until you get out there and you warm up and you jog and you run around a little bit. And that's why the strength and conditioning staff is out there. The trainers are out there. They're watching. So it's not – this is 100% not out of the ordinary for a team to not know if a player is going to play. I mean, in my own experience, when I was with the Titans, I mean, Steve McNair would go an entire week without practice. He would literally lay on the training room table from Monday until Saturday. And we're like, there's no way he's playing. There's no way the guy hasn't walked. Right? We haven't seen the guy walk all week. And damn it, he would come jogging out of the locker room, and he would play. So, it's just the nature of the beast. There's no way of determining what's going on here. So I was certainly, it's certainly possible that Lamar plays, and it's certainly possible that he doesn't.
I think we're all convinced, Rocky, that everything in football is about gamesmanship. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe there sometimes there is some gamesmanship involved, right? Like, I don't doubt that there can be situations where a coach might say, we're not going to do this. I just, to immediately assume that everything is gamesmanship is beyond the pale to me. Like this, what you just pointed out is 100% true. There are simply times where you're waiting to see how someone responds from an injury and you don't know the answer, and you genuinely, you sit around and somebody says to you, all right, John, nobody's listening right now. This guy playing on Sunday? And the answer really is, well, we hope so, but we don't know.
Right. We don't know. And look, two things can be true at the same time. To your point, yes, coaches partake in gamesmanship. That's part of the deal. And they're going to want to be as vague as possible, and they're going to want to say this and that. But it can also be true that, a player does not know, the team doesn't know, the coach doesn't know literally until they get out there a couple hours before game time and start testing the ankle out or testing that shoulder out. Then they'll know.
It's the reality of it. So we'll see how that goes from the Ravens side of things. Rocky, remarkably, as the Ravens have been decimated by injury and now COVID on top of it, do the Bengals really only have one player on the COVID list? Is Joe Burrow onto something when he says we don't have anything to do in Cincinnati, so we don't have to worry about anybody getting COVID?
Well, yeah, he is. I've lived there my whole life. And look, there's stuff to do, okay? And I know every Cincinnati fan is miffed right now, but stop it. It's just kind of one of those deals. This isn't L.A., and nor do we want it to be. And I think Joe Burrow is being tongue-in-cheek saying it's probably a good thing. It's cold as hell. It's not like there's all kinds of stuff to do. It's probably good if you don't want your players running around and catching COVID and getting tested and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's, and to the point as well, this Bengals team is remarkably healthy. I mean, remarkably healthy to the point where if they don't, find a way to get themselves in the playoffs, shame on them. Every other team, obviously the Ravens mostly, are absolutely decimated with injuries and COVID and everything else. Bengals overall got to be one of the healthiest teams in the league. They just got the good news. Joe Mixon's going to be fine, the running back. So, I mean, it would be a super missed opportunity for them to have this kind of health late in the season, playing the way they are, to not take advantage.
So, Rocky Boiman's with us here on Glenn Clark Radio. So, Rocky, the question becomes, with that being true and us knowing how much talent is there, why have they not been more consistent? Like, we know in Baltimore what they're capable of, right? They ran off 4 straight touchdowns against the Ravens and ended up kicking their ass a few weeks ago when the Ravens were healthier. Why have they not been a more consistent week-in, week-out team given all of the talent and how healthy they've been?
It is a big mystery. I'll take a couple of stabs at it. Number one, I think one thing Cincinnati fans, and myself in particular, are a little bit concerned about is there's been 2 times this year late in games where, Zach Taylor is the head coach, but he's also the play caller, where there's some late play call type decisions. I'm speaking specifically about the end of the 49ers game. Joe Burrow is playing absolutely out of his mind. I mean, out of his mind, can't be stopped. And we go with 2 straight run plays and don't try a shot at the end zone and win the game. So that and another couple of times throughout his tenure, you say, God, is a young head coach, a guy who didn't have any head coaching experience coming in, should he also be calling the plays, or would it not be better served to have someone totally devoted to that? Totally, the only thing they're thinking about is offense and play calling and situations, and then let the head coach do the game management stuff, the clock management stuff. What's my team like? Where are we at? That kind of thing. So I think that's one, at least in terms of the offense, I think that's one reason you could point to. outside of that, I mean, it's kind of a young team. You look back, and it's still, Joe Burrow really is, hasn't really had a full healthy off season. I don't know if that's something to do with it, but it is certainly mystifying at times that this team can have all this talent and then be absolutely gangbusters one week and then the next week not look like the same team at all.
I mean, it's puzzling to me, right? Like, they're a team that I want to look at and say they feel like they should be a threat to win a Super Bowl, but it's just it hasn't been there consistently. What you saw from them against the Ravens in the first game, and given the fact that the Ravens are so decimated, I would think that if I were sitting in Cincinnati today, I would probably be feeling an amount of confidence in this matchup.
Yeah.
Like, my God, what the thing that happened the last time, and how much worse off the Ravens are at this moment. Is that what people in Cincinnati are feeling this week, though?
I think so. I think the one thing that makes people nervous, well, first of all, it's the Bengals, right? They always find a way to just crush our hearts, right?
Fair. That's fair.
To do it. There's that, and then also I think the biggest thing when you look at this Ravens team is, one thing the Bengals consistently, literally over decades, have not been able to do well is cover the tight end, right? And our best cover linebacker, Logan Wilson, he's not in there. So obviously with what Andrews can do, that's a problem. I mean, George Kittle just absolutely killed this. I mean, it was 13 catches for, I don't know what it was, 140, 170, whatever it was. So that's obviously a concern because we know that's going to be a major focal point of the Ravens team. So that's something I think, everybody is always so hesitant to jump on board with both feet with this Bengals team, just, again, given the history and it's given so many times. And then also, as we talked about earlier, just the inconsistencies we're seeing. We don't know what team's going to show up. It's a team that showed up even last week. They found a way to kind of get a win late in the season. It wasn't pretty, but you found a way to get a win in Denver. And then obviously the Steelers win, the Ravens win. That team shows up, there's no problem. If the team that shows up like they did against the 49ers and kind of sleepwalks a little bit, or the Chargers, then it's going to be a bad day.
So then paint this picture for me, right? The Bengals will get the job done on Sunday if blank.
I think it's going to be, I mean, first of all, I want to propose, I was just something I was thinking about here. I just wonder do the Bengals want Lamar Jackson to play more than they want a healthy Tyler Huntley? I mean, I watched a little bit of that game last week. That dude, I mean, Huntley was running around, was scrambling. He was unstoppable against the Packers. And I'm thinking, do you want a banged up Lamar Jackson who isn't going to be as dynamic in there, or a healthy guy who's just going to go out there and throw caution to win? I don't know. That's a question. I almost want to say I'd rather take depending on how banged up Lamar Jackson is, I almost would rather have.
Well, if you're getting the guy that was panicking against the blitz for 4 weeks, then the answer is yes, right? Like, if that's Lamar Jackson that you're getting. But if you're getting a guy that's had a couple of weeks to look at more film and figure out what he was doing wrong against the blitz, even a banged up Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't want to face that if it's that guy. But I don't know that. Rocky, that's the bigger problem we got in Baltimore right now, is figuring out what happened with Lamar Jackson against the blitz for those 4 weeks. Like that.
Right. Well, but there's that. But I also, again, the Bengals have historically not done well against the tight end and not done well against running quarterbacks. Right. I mean, guys that are dynamic and can run around. Well, we'll shut down your best running back. We've done a pretty good job at that here in Cincinnati. But the scrambling nature of the quarterback is something that's traditionally given the Bengals some problems.
Give me your 2 cents on what the Ravens have been doing, Rocky, with the aggressive play calling and the decision making at the end of the game. Just you're a defensive guy. I have not sensed that any of the defensive players in Baltimore have had a problem with it whatsoever. That they're on board with this is what this team is doing now. They want to win the game, control it where they can control it. But what have you made of John Harbaugh's decision-making now twice in the last 3 weeks, going for 2 in the final minute of a game to try to win it on his own instead of letting the team have the ball back, and it not working either in those situations?
I think for this particular case, I am for it because, again, the fact that this team is so beat up right now, this Ravens team, that, if you think about it, if you extend the game infinitely, right, that there's less players, right, there's less healthy players out there to be able to make plays. So let's go ahead and try to win this thing. I think, again, just having defense, when you look across the line and the team is going to go for it, they're going to go for the win, all of a sudden psychologically that does something to you. So, I think the I agree with the decision. Obviously, it didn't work out, so, okay, you can second-guess it. But I think in those moments, and given what Harbaugh is dealing with, what he's looking at with his team here, I think it was the right decision to do it, and I think the players are fully on board. Most players are not ever going to say, hey, we want to play it really safe.
Right.
We want to kind of be really, really cautious. No, let's go win that damn thing. And I think, it didn't work out those 2 times, but I think there's probably some other times where it has worked out and some other times in the future where it's really going to work out for him.
Hey, I know you had a good one with Texas San Antonio and San Diego State the other night. You got anything else coming up bowl season-wise?
Yeah, I got a bowl here in a couple hours. I have the Frisco Classic. It's Miami of Ohio and North Texas. It's a late bowl game that they added. And we were in Frisco, and they're like, hey, do you want to stay and do the game? And we're like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we'll kick that thing off. It'll be at 3:30. North Texas is a team that, they went 1-6 to start the season, lost 6 straight games, and then now they've rattled off 5 straight wins. They've totally, Seth Luttrell is their coach. He's normally an air raid guy, right? But they've gone totally to running the ball. They'll literally run the ball 50 times today, right? So it's kind of an interesting deal. And then Miami of Ohio, their quarterback is thrown for 1,400 yards in the last 4 games. So kind of a, rushing attack versus a assault through the air kind of situation here today. Again, that'll be at 3:30 here on ESPN. Should be a fun one.
Very cool. Rocky Boiman, man, always appreciate catching up with you. And everybody can follow you on Twitter at RockyBoiman50. Merry Christmas, my friend. Safe travels to you as well. And look forward to, who knows, maybe in the postseason it somehow works out that we end up chatting with you again here in a couple of weeks.
That would be great. That would be fun. Glenn, you're the best, buddy. Thanks so much, and we'll talk soon, right?
Appreciate you, my friend. Rocky Boiman.
Thanks, man. Yep.
Great conversations with him every time. One of my favorite things every year when the Ravens and Bengals get together is we get to have a conversation with our buddy Rocky Boiman out in Cincinnati. Appreciate him taking the time for us as always. It is a weird bit, right, where, I totally understand what he's saying. I'm sure there's a lot of that in Cincinnati. You should feel super confident, right? You just kicked the Ravens' ass a couple weeks ago when they had their players. Now they don't have their players. They're coming out to Cincinnati. You're healthy. You should feel all the confidence in the world. And, his response back is mostly yeah, but it's the Bengals.
Right. It's like how we feel about the Mets in baseball,
right? It's just that you're right, and it's the Bengals. It's just the reality of the circumstance when it comes to a team like that. And there's a flip side argument to that, too, where, there's no reason for anybody to be confident in the Ravens, but it's the Ravens, and they just tend to figure out ways to be more competitive than you expect them to be in these circumstances.
I was literally sitting here while he was doing the interview, and I'm thinking to myself, have I ever really been scared of the Bengals? And there were those times when they had A.J. Green and Andy Dalton, and they were winning the division, but then they get to the playoffs, and they wouldn't. It's like how I feel about the Browns, and both teams should be good for all intents and purposes. They have the rosters to be great Super Bowl contenders. Excuse me, but they never seem to put it together, and they never seem to really be the threat that they should be.
The week of the first game, I said, these guys are a problem for a long time to come, man. And I know Jamar Chase didn't do diddly poo a week ago. Survived in one of my fantasy leagues anyway. Killed me in one. But that dude and that quarterback together for the next decade, they're going to be a problem.
Since his 200-yard game against the Ravens, I think I heard it on the radio. He hasn't even had 300 yards receiving since then.
Total. You mean?
Yeah,
he hasn't had 300 total yards receiving. He's too good. He's too good for that to continue to be a thing.
Well,
and they also well, the other thing too is they also have other weapons. They can, if you're gonna pay all the attention to Jamar Chase, they're like, well, we can throw the ball to Tyler Boyd too. I don't know if you heard, he's still pretty good. See that Higgins guy out there? He's good too. So if you're just going to roll everything this way, then we'll take. And Joe Burrow's a talented player, man. It is perplexing to me that they're not more consistent. It is perplexing to me that they struggle as much as they do, given all of the talent that they have and their relative health. That is perplexing to me.
It's a young team, right?
And that's what Rocky Boiman just said, right? But
I'm still learning how to win together as a cohesive unit. I think they're going to make the playoffs. They could very well win. If they win this week, they're going to win the division, right?
Well, yeah, it's over. Yeah. It's over.
Yeah.
They win this game, it's over.
Right.
It's over.
So,
all right. Today's show also brought to you by your local Chick-fil-A restaurants, the Baltimore area Chick-fil-A restaurants. If you're looking for a simple holiday meal, then try Chick-fil-A catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details. From Chris. Chris says, Glenn, I'm glad you guys are on YouTube, but the video's a little bit crisper than what I've been used to on Facebook, and you're more ugly than I thought you were. Thank you. I know, Chris. Thank you, Chris. If you think I'm more ugly, wait till you see Ken Zalis when we pull him up on video here in a second. Wait till you see that. God. Maybe we should pull the YouTube stream down at this point. Maybe kids and children, or women and children are not quite ready for this.
This poor guy just comes in here with his iced coffee and just sits down in a chair.
We're going to end up, we're going to fight about something else. That's the way it's going to go. Hour number 1 in the books. KZ is here. We're going to make our picks here in a minute for the week of NFL action, and then the PressBox Fantasy Football Show coming up at the bottom of the hour. That's all on the way. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Hey, it's Glenn Clark for Window Nation. Cold weather has arrived, and that means one thing: higher energy bills. But the good news is that Window Nation is here to help. For a limited time, get 50% off all style windows, bays, bows, double hung, and sliders, plus a house of windows for only $99 a month. Rising natural gas prices are affecting everyone, but new Window Nation windows can help. Get 50% off any style window and a house of windows for only $99 a month. Call Window Nation today at 866-90NATION or go online at windownation.com. That's December only. Tell them Glenn Clark sent you.
Need to hone your computer skills to boost your career? Or maybe you want an IT certification? CCBC Continuing Education has the courses and programs you need for a career in the computer field. And it's all tuition free. From the basics to specialized training, we have the classes you need, from hardware to programming to cybersecurity, and so much more. It's your choice. It's your career. Call 443-840-4700 or visit ccbcmd.edu/computer training.
Duffy's Garage is a family-owned and operated car care facility in beautiful Baldwin, Maryland. An authorized Maryland inspection station and Napa Pro Care Center with ASE-certified techs. Tell them that Glenn Clark sent you and receive 10% off your service with a max discount of $150. You gotta trust where you take your car, so take it to where I take mine. Duffy's Garage in Baldwin. Duffy'sGarageMD.com.
I love driving my tractor trailer, and just like you, I just want to make it to my destination safely. If you drive too closely to my truck, I can't see you, and you can't see what's in front of me. If I have to brake suddenly, our lives could be changed forever. If a truck stops quickly, can you? Don't tailgate trucks.
Brought to you by the Maryland Department of Transportation State Highway Administration.
The latest issue of PressBox is available now, and it's our very special annual Best of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Justin Tucker as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, honoring his historic on-field achievements, but also the unprecedented relationship he shared with Baltimore. Inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2021, including Cedric Mullins' incredible season and the dominance of local Paralympic athletes. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
You've got questions. They've got answers. Sure, I mean, we'll go with that. It's Glenn and Paul on Glenn Clark Radio.
Hey, Stan the Fan is taking this and next week off as far as his nightly shows are concerned, but we did do a special show on Tuesday of this week, sort of celebrating our annual Best of issue with Stan and Luke, and that's available right now at facebook.com/PressBoxSports by clicking on the videos tab or going to PressBoxOnline.com/video. And Stan will be back on January 3rd with his first show of 2022. So make sure that you join him for that. He and Ross talking baseball every Monday night, again, starting on January 3rd. Good morning, Ken Zalis. How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic. How are you
Good
today?
to see you. Yeah. Good to see you. You're looking crisp on YouTube this morning.
It is. It looks
quite
great.
crisp. It looks great.
Great.
For those of you that missed it at the top of the show, we're doing something a little bit different moving forward, as we will be streaming live both on Facebook and on YouTube. youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. And so if you miss the show and you want to watch it later, you can watch it there. Thanks to Ben Lamoon for all of his hard work and making it happen, as we're going to look to upgrade a few other things moving forward here in 2022. It has been a goal that we have been behind on for some time, but we are hoping to get it all fixed, and there's been a lot of work that's gone into it, and so appreciate you guys bearing with us as we made it all possible. We will, of course, have the PressBox Fantasy Show coming up at the bottom of the hour. Get your questions in at Glenn Clark Radio as we get ready for the semifinal week in the fantasy football world. That is on the way. KZ knocked me out in the semifinals of his stupid league last week. But
now it's really stupid.
Well,
he got knocked out.
Well, it was always stupid.
Before.
Even if I had won, it would have been stupid. I would have said, this is a dumb league. Now, next year, put some money at stake, and it won't be a dumb league any longer. And it was also stupid for the fact that they were playing the playoffs with guys on buys. I played a playoff game and didn't have Jonathan Taylor available to me. That made a lot of sense.
My bad.
Made a lot of sense. All right, let's get into picks for the week. Picks are brought to you this week by Underdog Fantasy Football. I know you're a big Underdog guy, KZ.
I am. I donated some money last week to Underdog. It did not go well with COVID land.
Rashad Bateman was a problem for you last week.
Yeah, that did not work out very well with Rashad Bateman. But Underdog Fantasy, they just paid out a couple of the best ball leagues. It's great. Already did a best ball draft for next year, Glenn. I know that surprises
you have a problem,
I know
sir.
that surprises you.
Seek help. Seek help. How in I don't know. This is a different conversation for a different day.
But here's what you do. If you have not signed up yet, and I don't know what else we can do, but here's what we can do. You can go and sign up at Underdog Fantasy on Twitter, underdogfantasy.com, on the World Wide Web, and put in the code PressBox, and when you donate up to $100, you can donate more than $100, but the first $100, PressBox will match, courtesy of Underdog Fantasy Sports. And then you can play all the fun games, parlays, 2 to 5 picks, went up to 20 times your money. We can do best ball right now for next year.
You psychopath.
Next year.
You
it's
have
great.
a problem.
It's fantastic.
God.
Why is it a problem?
You got to
get in early.
No. Find out who's playing.
J.K. Dobbins, he'll be back.
Maybe. I hope so.
I hope so.
But you have no idea.
I know.
There should never be anyone drafting anything related to fantasy football until Labor Day weekend of the following. God, what is wrong with you?
But anyway, you can also play the NBA. NBA is impossible to play right now because games get
Joe
canceled.
Johnson's a thing.
Joe Johnson's a
Joe
thing.
Johnson.
I hit his over, though.
Did you really?
3.5. It was 3.5. I said.
What did he score?
I think he scored 4.
Wow.
If I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Joe,
yeah. ISO Joe at 40 years old is back in the NBA because they're desperate for players.
Yes.
They're calling the big three and just saying, what do you got?
Yes.
Who's available? There are going to be so many guys going to get to be able to say that they were NBA players because of this season. This is not a bit. Guys that in no world would ever have reached the NBA will be able to say on their deathbed, I played in the NBA because of how decimated teams are this season. They are calling anyone they can find.
Yes. You could also
Keith Booth might end up back on an NBA roster at some point.
He might. We might see Jason Kidd. He's still around.
Is Jason Kidd 50 at this point?
He may be. Hey, why not?
I'd like to see Juan Dixon get another little bit of a run.
Hey.
Well, he's got a job. He might be unavailable.
Yeah, but he's in shape. He's running every day with the college kids, But
they can still shoot.
Soccer.
He's only 3
NBA,
years older than Joe Johnson. Juan Dixon's only 3 years older than Joe Johnson.
Major League Baseball will be here before you know it. So
hopefully,
sign up for Underdog Fantasy now. Remember the code PressBox. And on your first deposit, they will match up to your first $100.
All right, very good. Let's get into it. You know what? I think this week I'm going to let KZ make the picks first because he's suddenly back. He's threatening. He went 6
My picks are already documented.
Yeah, but you get the right to change them every week. Every week we give you the option to change. If you want to lock your picks in moving forward, that you can never change your picks, then that's fine.
Lock mine in this week because
lock them in.
Yeah.
Don't. So if he gives you a different answer, you have to say sorry. That you can't change your answer.
You're locked in.
Your pick is your pick.
All right.
KZ's suddenly back within 3 games.
Suddenly.
Well, you were down by 6, and then I went 3-6. It would have been nice if somebody would have told me. I would appreciate moving forward if somebody would let me know that we're never going to call pass interference against the Rams. I just would like that to be something that I'm informed of ahead of time. that every blatant pass interference is not going to be called against the Rams. It'd be a nice thing. I don't know, but why would I assume that, Ken?
Why not?
Why would I
Well,
assume
if you're waiting
that
for
we're just
somebody
going
to
to
just
stop
tell you-
calling pass
If
interference?
you want somebody to just tell you, just assume it.
It'd be
and
nice.
You can't lose.
It'd be nice if that were the case. I went 3-6 last week. Ken went 6-3. So because of that, Kyle and I are now tied atop the table. Of course, Kyle doing this from his deathbed, from the grave.
Yes. It's impressive.
KZ back within 3 games of the top of the table. Proctor is 10 games back, and there really is no race, unfortunately. I wish there was, but there's no race at the bottom of the table. Andrew Stecca is 7 games behind John Proctor. John Proctor is roughly as close to the top of the table as he is to the bottom of the table, where Andrew Stecca is well on his way to flying back across the country to come in here, consume a tarantula, sing a hero from the first Spider-Man movie, and get his back waxed, which we have been promised Mrs. Stecca will do.
Yeah.
She will be the one waxing his back.
Can he at least sing in the key?
I don't think so, but that's
Probably not.
that's sort of the
That's
bit.
not-
You're not
yeah.
supposed to.
Fair
Like
enough.
it's supposed to be painful for everybody involved.
So this whole thing is just going to be. Just
Oh
awful.
yeah, miserable. 9 games, all NFL games this week. We'll have some bowl games mixed in next week, but 9 NFL games to pick this week. Where are we
Taking
starting?
Wake.
You're taking. Well, they do need an opponent. I did. Is it official? Rutgers.
I haven't seen it official.
I don't know if it's
Rutgers
official
or
yet.
Illinois, probably.
Right. Well, Rutgers apparently got first choice
Yes.
because they had the highest academic.
Yeah, whatever.
A lot of Maryland fans in my life like, really, we beat Rutgers to get bowl eligible, and they're going to end up with a better bowl than we are.
Yeah.
I've been to the Gator Bowl. It's actually
nice.
it's kind of fun. I don't want to oversell it.
It's not, but it's
still Jacksonville. Like I don't want to make it
is.
seem like it's.
But the game itself.
But you're in Florida and
Yeah.
you're not freezing your ass off in New York next week. That's what it is. All right, go ahead.
All right, so your first game, excuse me, tonight on Thursday Night Football, San Francisco 49ers at the Tennessee Titans. The line is San Francisco by 3.
Why?
What do you mean why?
Why is San Francisco favored on the road tonight?
I mean, Tennessee's offense has not.
What's the
looked good.
latest on A.J. Brown?
Hasn't been activated yet.
But, like, what's the assumption?
The assumption is he will be before the game.
So
Julio
why?
Jones is also playing.
So why is Tennessee short week favored coming across the country for a Thursday night game? This is the thing where the line stinks so much that I have to take it. Give me the 49ers. This line stinks. I have to take
I
it.
thought
49ers.
Ken was picking first.
No, we
No,
decided that
said,
we'd lock in his picks.
Mine are locked in.
Yes.
Mine are locked in, and if I change mine, you're supposed to,
Not allowed. You're not allowed to
hit
change
me
it.
over the nose with the
Yes.
rolled up newspaper. I didn't even think about this game. The Titans, who want to run the ball, are missing at least 2 of their starting offensive linemen. Their top running back, Foreman, kind of messed up his ankle, so we don't know what's going to happen there. I like how the 49ers are playing. I took San Francisco.
All right, as did Kyle. Proctor and Andrew each took the Titans.
I mean, I don't understand the line. Again, if there's more, this is the problem. I'm not paying attention to every team's COVID situation. So that's part of the issue of making these picks, and it might explain more of the lines.
I don't think there are any issues with this team.
I don't know, man. I can't follow all of this. Honest to God, what I would tell you right now, and I mean this, like, I still want you to go to Live Casino Hotel. I still want you to do all those things. I would stop betting for a little while right now. It is so difficult for me to have a grasp of these games given the COVID situation.
All right, Cleveland Browns at the Green Bay Packers.
Packers. I don't care. Packers.
Saturday at 4:30.
Keep
Packers by 7.5.
It could be by 10. Packers.
Yeah, I took the Packers as well.
Come on, man. It's Cleveland, after all that belly aching last week, they end up on a short week having to go to Green Bay, who got pushed a little bit. Aaron Rodgers is playing brilliant football right now, and Cleveland kind of knows it's over. Packers by a billion.
Proctor took Cleveland.
I mean,
Well, you gotta do what you got to do.
he doesn't really have a lot to lose, though.
I know,
Like, he
right.
really has very little
I
to
know,
lose.
but,
It's going to be very hard for Stecca to make that competitive
Yeah.
again. Although, how far were you behind me?
I was good 10 games.
And
at
now
one
you're only
point.
down 3 games, so I guess it's possible. It can be done.
Indianapolis Colts at the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday, Christmas Day at 8:15 p.m. on NFL Network. The line is Arizona at home by 1.5.
This is the toughest one for me.
Yes, it was.
This really is the toughest one for me because everybody's in love with the Colts right now, and I get it. I totally understand why everybody's in love with the Colts. And I certainly get why everybody's down on the Cardinals at the moment. But I do worry that sometimes we have a bit of a recency bias to things, and we forget that on the whole, the Cardinals have been very good this season. And we're only talking about, this is essentially a pick-em game that we're discussing at
Yes.
this point, given the line.
Yes.
But I can't take risks anymore. The Colts are playing too well. Give me the Colts.
I believe this is where I wound up as well. It's the one thing that the Colts have going for them is their defense is playing well, and they have the best running back on the planet right now that they are very willing to give the ball 30 times
100%.
So give me the Colts.
And lose to the Lions. Everybody hates it. It's a clean sweep. Everybody took the Colts.
It's tough.
Los Angeles Rams at the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, 1 p.m. Rams by 3 on the road.
I'm going to finally have to stop picking against the Rams, especially if they're going to get all the pass interference calls. If all of them, we're just going to do this forever. Doesn't matter how blatant, we're just going to swallow our whistle and say we're not calling pass interference on them because we want them in the Super Bowl. Rams.
All right, Stecca, the only one to take Minnesota.
He definitely has to take risks.
Yes, he has to
Like, he should probably take more risks.
Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. This should be the Sunday night game. 1 o'clock.
Well, that would require them moving Dallas out of a primetime game, and that will never.
Washington.
And there will never be a day where a network will move Dallas out of a primetime game. Let me make that very clear.
You're right.
That day will never come.
New England at home by 2.5.
But yes, I'm so very glad I don't get to watch this game. Stupid league. This one's. What's the number?
2.5.
2.5. Oh, that does make it tough now. It started lower than that. It started at like 1.
Yeah, it was low.
And 2.5 isn't so significant that suddenly. I think this is the same thing. I think it's a toss-up, right? Like, and I'm not sold that New England is falling. That last week was an example of them falling apart. I mean, they battled back into that game. It's weird that they went so long without. It's weird they went 3 quarters without doing anything, but they battled their way back into that game. And had it not been for that long Jonathan Taylor run, they might very well have gotten the ball back and won the football game. 2.5.
Bills are kind of fighting for the playoff lives.
I know, and the problem is you didn't learn anything about these teams from their previous game. You learned 0 about them from that game. I'm going to bite on Buffalo, and this might be where somebody makes up a point on me this week.
Might be.
You picking?
Won't be me.
Oh, okay. You went with Buffalo
but
as well?
I went with Buffalo as well. I just I went back and forth, and I'm like, okay, what's Belichick taking away? Okay, you're going to take away the quarterback. So he's the best thing that they got going for him. So does that mean we're leaving Diggs one-on-one?
Gabriel Davis is suddenly a thing.
Yeah. So I went with the offensive talent. I think defensively, Buffalo, you can run on them, but I don't know if Harris is playing this week.
All right, everybody else took New England.
Okay.
You two.
All right. Very interesting.
Your Pittsburgh Steelers at
What?
the
What was that? It's a really weird bit, bro.
At the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City by 7.5.
I hate that number.
Really
God,
depends on who's
I
coming
hate
back
that
from
number.
COVID, right?
Oh, who's
The Hill, Kelsey.
Yeah. I just hate that number in general. I know that I've been bit a couple of weeks now by saying Kansas City never covers. I also feel like Pittsburgh always covers. Like, I feel like this is part of the story. This is going to be where I take a huge risk. Pittsburgh is my pick.
So I feel like this line would be closer to 10.5 if we knew Kelsey and Hill were in, and if Pittsburgh had lost last week like they should have. I mean, they were basically hand-wrapped a win that they were awful in. Offensively, they were absolutely awful. Kansas City, tough place to play. Defense has been playing really, really well. I'm going to guess one or the other, if not both, Hill and Kelsey are going to play, and I'm going to take the Chiefs here.
All right, Glenn, that's why I said you're the only one on Pittsburgh.
Oh, boy. I didn't work out. My only lone wolf last week did not work out for me.
All right. Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday at 4:25 p.m. The line is Vegas by 1, so essentially a pick 'em.
Who the F knows? Who knows? 2 7-7 teams. neither one of you have ever been able to have any faith in.
Bridgewater even going to play?
Oh, I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think so.
Drew Lock's playing. I guess with that in mind, I'm going to go the Raiders here, but I got no faith in it. None. Zero.
I actually don't remember who I picked. I think I was taking the Raiders.
Yeah, you took the Raiders.
Yeah. I don't know. The Lock thing, I think the Broncos are a better team overall, but the Lock thing, he just makes too many mistakes, and I'll take the Raiders at home.
All right. Kyle, the only one to take Denver.
Uh-oh. Kyle and I are just split on like the last 3 games. I'm going to be in some trouble this week.
Washington football team at the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. They get the Sunday night slot, and Dallas is favored by 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we know yet if Washington has a quarterback? Heineke's back. I do think that matters.
Oh, I do.
And in fact, I think it matters. 10.5 is the number?
10.5.
Washington.
I may have to roll that newspaper up.
You don't get to change it.
I know, but I also don't remember off the top of my head who I picked here. Like, a lot of these were very obvious for me. The 10.5 really bothers me, and I feel like Washington at full strength. Dallas isn't blowing people out right now, so I think I took Washington.
You did. You took Washington.
So I would stick with Washington.
Yep.
It's a big number.
You, Glenn and Kyle on Washington.
All right.
That's you know.
Very good. There won't be any movement on
It's
that one.
good company.
Yeah, right?
I mean, you know.
All right, and now actually your Baltimore Ravens at Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday at 1 p.m. Cincinnati at home by 3.
I have no reason why I'm doing this but Baltimore.
I have no reason why I'm doing this except for the fact I have no idea who's playing for the Ravens.
Yeah.
So Cincinnati.
I get that. I completely get that. That is the pick that everybody should make.
I don't know who the quarterback is. I don't know.
I have no idea why it's only a 3-point number, by the way.
I don't, because it was done before the Ravens put their entire defense on COVID.
What's the number now?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they have I don't even know who's starting on defense right now. The offensive lineman who played really, really well
David
last
Sharp,
week,
yes.
he's on COVID.
Yep.
I mean, what we don't know is any of these guys, with the new rules, they can test back in. But I just look, I hope the Ravens win because they're the home team, and I can't stand any fans from anybody else in this division. I just can't pick them.
Yeah, you and Andrew both picked Cincinnati. Everybody else took.
That's a little surprising. Everybody else took Baltimore. Yeah, it's a little bit surprising given the circumstance.
It's tough. It's tough. We don't know who's playing in the game.
We
also don't know if Mixon's playing.
That's true. Rocky Boiman just told us that the assumption now is that Mixon is playing.
Okay.
Yeah. We will have a Project Game Day for you on Sunday. It'll be Rita with me post game for that one. As of now, anyway, as of this moment, because everybody's a little TBA at the moment for what it's worth, where the whole world is TBA. But I'll be with you at halftime. She'll be with me post-game. It's all brought to you by Glory Days Grill, Window Nation, and Underdog Fantasy Football. We'll see you for Project Game Day on Sunday. Those are our picks. Picks brought to you this week by Window Nation. It's December. It's getting cold again. Energy prices, energy bills will be going up. But Window Nation is here to help. They've got for you only through the end of the month. So make sure you take advantage of it soon. But they have a couple of offers for you, including 50% off all style windows and a house of windows for only $99 a month. Give them a call, 866-90Nation, or visit windownation.com in order to find out more. We'll come back in. We think we have time for a tidbit today and tubular. And we got the PressBox Fantasy Football Show. It's all on the way. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
What's up, everybody? This is Tyus Bowser. I can't wait to see you guys for the Tyus Bowser Show this fall. We're going to be taking the show on the road all over the area. You can meet me and my very special guests. If you can't make it out, you can watch the show on live on PressBox Facebook page or listen the next day. Find out more about where we'll be by checking out PressBoxOnline.com/Bowser. We'll see you all season long for the Tyus Bowser Show.
Looking for a simple holiday meal? Try Chick-fil-A Catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
That first sip. That first bite. Start your day off right with a delicious breakfast at Royal Farms. Choose from a fantastic selection of fresh Royal Farms breakfast sandwiches and top it off with a rich hot cup of the freshest coffee in the world. At Royal Farms, breakfast is available day and night. It's the freshest breakfast in the world. Real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms.
Sports fans, the wait is over. The all-new FanDuel Sportsbook is now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. This is your chance to win big right in your own backyard. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all of the action from the best seat in the house. Make every moment more at the all-new FanDuel Sportsbook at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Please call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit mdgamblinghelp.org.
Window Depot Baltimore provides the highest quality Pro Via windows, doors, and siding for all budgets. The best is finally affordable. Call them today for a free in-home consultation at 410-941-3499. They also offer Zoom and FaceTime consultations in an effort to practice social distancing. A proud sponsor of the Tyus Bowser Show, you can find out more at WindowDepotBaltimore.com.
Hey, it's KZ. The PressBox Fantasy Football Show is back, as always, on Thursdays. You can catch it at 11:30. We're brought to you this year, CCBC and Glory Days Grill. You can catch the show two ways, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports or PressBoxOnline.com/radio. The /radio is if you want to listen. On Facebook is if you actually want to see my ugly face. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. DFS, daily lineups, keepers, all kinds of fun stuff. Please tune in, PressBox Fantasy Football Show, every Thursday, 11:30 a.m.
If you miss anything, don't forget that you can find whole shows later on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon Podcast. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Mobile One full synthetic motor oil helps extend engine life. Visit your local Jiffy Lube service center. Ask for Mobile One. All right, quickly, unfortunately, as you know, we had to postpone this week's scheduled final Tyus Bowser show of the season. We are hoping that there might be a chance that we can do one. You understand the circumstances. We're all dealing with them at the same time, but we are rooting for the best. We've enjoyed doing it all season. Thanks to PressBox, Grade 8's memorabilia, MyBookie, Window Depot Baltimore, WindowDepotBaltimore.com, and Duffy's Garage in Baldwin, Duffy'sGarageMD.com. Tidbit brought to you today by your Baltimore area Chick-fil-A restaurants. If you're looking for a simple holiday meal, then try Chick-fil-A catering. From Chick-fil-A nuggets to mac and cheese, enjoy a variety of tray options sized perfectly for your get-together. Order through the Chick-fil-A app and bring smiles to your family gathering. Availability and order requirements vary. See restaurant for details.
All right, yesterday the NFL Pro Bowl rosters were announced, and the Ravens were announced to have 5 Pro Bowlers: Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, Justin Tucker, Pat Ricard, and Devin Duvernay. It marks the 15th season in which the Ravens have had at least 5 Pro Bowl selections. 5 seasons in franchise history featured more than 6 Pro Bowlers. Which seasons were they?
That's a really specific question. I'll say 2009.
No.
2010.
No.
2011.
2011, second most with 8.
2012.
Hang on. No.
2008.
No.
2014, sorry.
No.
2003.
2003, tied for third with 7th.
2000.
7. No.
2019.
2019, most in NFL history, 13.
2020.
2020, 7. You have one more.
2006.
No.
That's
Surprisingly,
surprising. Yeah, it's a bit surprising. So there was another season
where they had 7 Pro Bowlers.
What year would they have had 7 Pro Bowlers with this mess? 2003.
No, not 2001.
What?
Proctor said 2001.
Yeah, 2001 would have made sense because it was a playoff year. 2004.
You already said that.
I said 2003.
You said 2004 also.
Oh, no, I accidentally said 2004. Then I correct myself and said 2003.
They're still wrong.
Thank you. I get that. Appreciate it. So, I mean, it's a non-playoff year.
It's a non-playoff year, but it should have been a playoff year.
So 2017?
Close.
2018?
Nope.
2016, sorry.
2016.
2016. All right. Very good. All right. Tubular is brought to you today by Live Casino and Hotel. The sports fans, the wait is over. Get down to Live Casino and Hotel. Check out the FanDuel Sportsbook. It's such an awesome place to hang out. It's now open at Live Casino and Hotel in Hanover, Maryland. Bet on every sport with self-service kiosks and watch all the action from the best seat in the house. Tubular, as always, we don't really know, but we're pretty sure that on NFL Network only tonight. Tonight's game is not on Fox. It's just on NFL Network. for 49ers Titans. Fox got the Saturday game instead. The Packers game is the Fox Thursday night game of the week instead of tonight's game.
Didn't I hear it was on Prime as well?
It might be on Prime tonight too. I don't know, but on TV-wise, it's only on NFL Network tonight at 8:20 for 49ers and Titans. Wizards Knicks at 7:30 on NBC Sports Washington. Everything else, I'm just saying, might be happening. The 2 bowl games Rocky mentioned, he's doing the Frisco game, North Texas and Miami, Ohio at 3:30. The Gasparilla Bowl tonight between Central Florida and Florida, which would probably be a big deal down there if the teams are good. That would be a really big deal, those 2 teams playing against each other in those parts. As far as the rest of the weekend is concerned, I will merely point out the rest of the NFL games. Fox, as I mentioned, on Saturday for Browns-Packers. What are you laughing about? That's at 4:30. All right, great. Then NFL Network on Saturday night for Colts-Cardinals at 8:15. Locally on Sunday, Ravens-Bengals at 1 on CBS. Giants-Eagles at 1 on Fox. Steelers-Chiefs is the late game on CBS. And, of course, the Sunday night game, football team Cowboys at 8:20. Anything non-sports that jumps out?
I was told to do all Christmas stuff this week, so much.
Well, just give me the highlights. Give me the super highlights.
For tonight, Santa Claus is coming to town at 8 o'clock on ABC. Your favorite, a very boy band holiday at 9.
Is my guy Joey the fat one involved?
He is.
Why
wouldn't he be at this point?
I love that guy. Actually, you know who my boy is? A former guest of the show is Chris Kirkpatrick, who, of course, is part of he's a part-time member of my buddy Danny Mays' band Here's to the Night. He just comes and he flies into town to play gigs with them sometimes, and it's awesome.
I just think of Eminem when I hear Chris Kirkpatrick.
Gonna get your ass kicked, right? The whole thing.
On Friday, a Hollywood Dolly Christmas. That's at 8 o'clock on CBS. ABC's Olaf's Frozen Adventure at 8, and Shrek The Halls at 8:30. It's a Wonderful Life on NBC at 8. The Grinch at 7:30 and 9:30 on FX. A Christmas Carol at 7:50 on FXM. Your Worst Christmas Nightmare at 8, 9, and 10 on ID. And
I'm good.
Elf on Stars. Saturday, it's
Christmas Story all day on TBS.
Christmas Story, A Christmas Carol, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yeah,
and then Sunday, Yellowstone at 8 on Paramount. And then on Paramount Plus, 1883, Episode 3. If you guys like the movie Tombstone, it's like that as a TV show.
I do want to watch it. I do want to get into
pretty
1883.
awesome.
I do want to get into that. That will happen at some point soon. There's also a lot of stuff. Did you put Letterkenny on the list? Letterkenny is back on Sunday, bro. Letterkenny. Oh, I'm so happy. My life is so much better.
What does that? Come on.
It's on Hulu, dog.
Okay.
You better get your act together. Letterkenny's back on Sunday. Our lives are so much better for
on
it.
Hulu on Sunday.
Oh, I'm so excited about that. And then we get new Righteous Gemstones here in a couple weeks. There's something else that's coming back into our lives in the next couple weeks. I just realized that for some reason they load up post-Christmas with the return of good TV. So I'm very happy.
They know that everything sucks.
Everything's
April.
depressing, right? It's cold out,
Christmas.
and you're just stuck at home, and now we got COVID too. We just better give us something. So I can't remember what the third one is that I'm excited about, but Letterkenny and Righteous Gemstones for sure in the next couple of weeks. And there's something else too. All right, that's totally tubular. The rest of it will be at glennclarkradio.com. Thanks today to Bo Smolka. Thanks to Rocky Boiman. We'll get that and picks up in the greatest hits section of the
archives.
Tab at glennclarkradio.com. Don't forget, no show tomorrow, no bat around on Saturday. We're back with Project Game Day on Sunday. And then Jeremy Kahn and I will be drunkenly doing a table read of Jingle All the Way on Monday, and that's the show. We're not doing a normal show. We're doing a drunken table read of Jingle All the Way for our show on Monday. Thanks to those of you that have already donated. We need more of you to donate. Jeremy's raising money for Perry Hall basketball to take care of the guys that have been hurt by the COVID period. So we need more of you to step up and donate for what we're doing on Monday, a drunken show. Also, don't forget that on Saturday, you guys can get a free cup of coffee at Royal Farms if you're a ROFO Rewards member. All day, all coffee sizes, so you can get a big old thing. If you're like me and you're going to be up all night putting together toys on Friday night, and you wake up and you're fried, and now you got to go see your parents and your in-laws, and then your in-laws' in-laws, and then your ex's in-law. You got to go do the whole thing all day. You're going to need a free coffee from ROFO. Make sure you have downloaded the Royal Farms app in the Google Play or Apple App Store if you're not an account member yet, if you're not a ROFO Rewards member, and you can become a ROFO Rewards member, or you can go to ROFORewards.com if you pick up a physical card in your local Royal Farms store. Free coffee for all ROFO Rewards members on Saturday. So we'll see you again on Monday when we come back. Here's the deal. Got a new audience on YouTube. Oh, I didn't thank. Damn it. I got to thank all of our sponsors. Thanks, everybody at PressBox. Thanks all of our great sponsors and partners. CCBC, Glory Days Grill, Window Nation, Royal Farms, ExxonMobil, K&S Automotive, the Maryland Lottery, Grade 8's Memorabilia, Live Casino and Hotel, Baltimore area Chick-fil-A restaurants, the Maryland Department of Transportation, Underdog Fantasy Football, Duffy's Garage in Baldwin, Window Depot, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, and MyBookie. Thanks to Paul Valley. Follow him on Twitter, at Paul Valley III. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram, at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Happy holiday. We'll see you when we get back on Monday. Duke sucks. Ohio State sucks, too. Now, if you're with us on a video platform, give us a minute, then return to where you started, either facebook.com/PressBoxSports or youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. There will be a new video in a moment. If you're with us on an audio platform, do nothing. Scratch yourself. Whatever it is that you need to do for a minute. And then we'll be back with the PressBox